Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy, and this is of particular note if you drive an electric vehicle. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now we are joined by Refracted Curvature, Arwin, Neil, Elijah, 10th Man, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Hey Nathan.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome one and all.
Do you
Good
have
to have you all.
fun? Do you have fun when you do the presenter thing?
Do I have fun when I do the presenter thing? Yeah, I suppose.
It's
I'm
like
as vain as the next man on YouTube.
Hey Nathan,
It sounds
I just wanted
sounds
to
like
make
you're
a note.
coming. Sounds like you're coming out of TV.
Ah, that's what I'm going for. Professional. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment.
Nathan,
Okay,
I wanted to make a note.
It's not a well. If the future holds good things for us, yeah, the TVs should be better, and we need more people like you.
I think what we've got is the future of what was called TV, not the other way around. In other words, we're not going to segue from YouTube onto TV. I don't think that's the case. You know, when the media start referring to things that Ellen DeGeneres has said as Ellen at YouTube or whatever she's called, you know, that's how they start referring to these people. So, you know, having your individualistic channel on YouTube, I think, is the way it's gone, as opposed to we're going to be upping our game to TV standards. It'll just be upping your subscriber base, and, you know, who wants dusty old TV broadcast through the airwaves?
It's all they say it's all about who you know, right? But I mean, human connection is the most important thing, rather than being a flashy presenter.
Maybe. I don't know. In this respect, I just think we've got to have winning arguments. And as it's the case with this particular week, we've only got through about half of the housekeeping questions. So we'll start with one that won't get us caught up in the weeds. Any evidence that there's a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
What did you want to say, Arwin? Sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to ask you if you could please stop spreading these rumors about me being a polonium denier.
I'm sorry.
Actually, Adam's starting his work on the Polonium Chronicles, and I can't wait for the first book.
I don't know how to read that, because that could be Arwin being sincere, or it could be the continuation of the jape that was yesterday's show when we were talking about the farcical descent into nonsensical rubbish about polonium and the polonium people and how they're rings that are their beings. We just weren't, you know, thinking outside the box enough in terms of how they would appear. They wouldn't have arms and legs. All total nonsense. But, you know, akin to the heliocentric spun-out nonsense that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And we're holding Arwin to task based on our, or more accurately, Adam's nonsensical story about the polonium people. So I don't know. Was that a please actually don't, or were you being serious, or are you continuing the jape, Arwin?
Now you're being a polonium denier. You were just projecting, weren't you?
Yeah, that's enough for me to know. Not at all. I think you'll find I know exactly who the polonium people were based on those rings we see. It's not circular reasoning. Boom, boom.
Polonium people only exist in the mass.
No, got the rings. Are you a polonium ring denier also, 10th man? We got those rings. Are you denying the rings exist?
No, I'm wearing one. I'm an ambassador, actually, for Polonia.
I see. Very good.
I'm
What about the
wondering,
self-perpetuating?
Really? What's your
Is that-
polonium name?
I'm wondering,
Hello.
would that word be pronounced polyminium in the UK?
Ugh.
Aluminium. Aluminium.
Good morning, guys.
Go with chocolate.
And
For
therefore
years,
the
I
Earth is
thought
a sphere.
aluminum was
best
a different
Nathan's
metal.
react to that.
I thought aluminum was a different metal, like some sort of, mixture of metals. Like aluminum sounds posh. Oh, aluminium. Oh, right.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear polonium with the inium.
They were
Polonium.
just
can
the
segue-
aluminium people.
Segue
They're
into the
lesser.
chemtrails because there is aluminium in the chemtrails.
Okay, how do you know that?
Harold Kadsvella, who is a scientist from Denmark, he made lots of tests. I'm sure there are other people all around the world. I actually know an American, but I cannot remember the name. That there are metals in the air. There are nanoparticles, which
Why?
is magnetic.
Why?
When?
Hold on.
When were the samples taken?
I don't know. I'll take it at face value. Why? Why are they doing that?
They're testing soil for barium, strontium, aluminium, and the levels of those heavy metals have increased. I think that's what he was talking about.
No, I got that bit. If I take it at face value, why? So the postulation is...
The why question is very, that's a... I
Why
mean,
would
nobody
they lie?
can be sure because they do not tell us the truth anyway, but we can only guess.
Well, what
I
do they
believe
tell
that
us?
they are just...
Okay, what's the official narrative?
Now, the human body is made of it's literally made of clay. We are not really conductive.
Okay, now hold on. You've gone straight
Because-
off into the weeds. Just slow down. Right. So far, I hear claim chemtrails. Now, if you're not aware of what that term means, fine. I claim to have aluminium in them. Okay, I'll take that face value without getting into the weeds of you proving it. I'll just take it at face value and say, why? What's the purpose of the powers that should not be putting aluminium into particulates that look like smoke coming out the back of
I can
planes?
address that very directly if you want, Nathan.
Go ahead.
Let me do it
Very
first, mister.
You've had one try, but go ahead, as it was you who brought it up.
Yeah, I believe that the reason is that they are trying to make human body conductive to electricity or signals. They want to remotely control people who are gonna be left alive. So it's directly about being having a conductive body which reacts to electrical signals or electromagnetic signals.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
other...
that's complete horseshit.
It's
It has nothing
fine.
to do with
If
the
that's what he
body.
believes, that's fine.
No,
Go
but
ahead, Darwin.
he was close though,
Just
because
Darwin.
it has to do
It's
with
not-
conduction. Can I?
It's not
It has to
horseshit.
do with.
Hello, Darwin.
It makes.
Hello,
Dude,
Darwin speaking. Hello. Go ahead, Darwin.
it has to do with that it makes certain types of electrical things conduct more easily. So I think it was originally intended to enhance certain levels of radio communication, which just happens to coincide with the introduction of a whole new set of mobile communications and all that. So I think it was originally introduced to enhance communication, to make signals reach further and longer and even a little bit around corners by
What?
basically
They could do that
creating
anyway.
a slight conductive field. And that could then, if successful, play into more direct mind control, right? Because what are those signals going to be, right? But it
What?
was for that.
Okay. Any other
What's the claim?
advancements on this?
May I respond to that
Hello,
very
Nathan.
quickly?
Hello, everyone.
It's
now,
been combined with the
do they
HARP
need
test.
to-
Oh God! If I lose control here, we'll have all sorts of claims about 5G controlling your brain and trying to microwave your head and all sorts of other crap.
Didn't go there.
So, any evidence from either of you for your beliefs? If not, we'll move on.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, like always, right?
No, it's not.
That's right.
No, it's
And
not.
if
Can I
you
just
if you want to
interject real
climb a
quick?
mountain, you've
Can I
got to
just
stroll up a
interject real
few
quick?
hills. Meanwhile, is there any evidence of mind control being in any way linked to the claim we have dispersion of aluminium from these things we call chemtrails? Is there
No,
any
none
actual evidence
whatsoever.
to back that that's its purpose? Or is this just your beliefs? Proof being in the pudding and
Purpose,
all?
we cannot know the purpose because
That's
they are
all I
not telling
need.
us
Yeah,
what
we
Thank
we
you.
can.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
can. What a ridiculous statement.
Okay, Arwin,
You
go ahead.
cannot know the. Of course, there's a purpose. They're not going to do
No,
something
there
unless it
is
has a
no
purpose. Of
reason.
course, you can know the purpose.
No,
Yeah, that's not what I'm
I
asking.
think
I'm
it- I
not
think
asking if we
Overcomer is
can
too
know it. I'm
far-fetched.
asking if you do.
Well, I
Yes,
do
there's a
some.
document about geoengineering, and they have to use those metals in the ionosphere to energize the ionosphere
Iono
to
what now?
produce clouds into certain areas.
Ionosphere.
Ionosphere? I am
We
not
should
on a
prove that
sphere.
exists.
It's electrical
No,
conductivity
listen, this
for
is the only word that
manipulation of
I'm
the weather and
fine-tuning
other
to
things and radio communication.
to explain
You
something in the
realise-
sky.
Oh, God. Everyone stop. Right. Arwin, I heard the claim the first time. Yeah. You chanting through next man without anything further to what the claim is it's not helping. I heard you. Thank you. Arwin.
If you think
Whoever
this
that
is
was
a
in...
conspiracy, Nathan, you should just buy yourself an EMF meter and then turn off your phone and then see if it still sends signals. And you're going to see that it's not going to stop connecting to the towers.
And?
Yeah, it's got a radio and receiver inside
Yeah,
the
I'm
phone.
well aware of
Yeah.
that. And?
That means this technology is being used against you.
My phone? Yeah. I am well aware of that.
It's
So...
also used as a way of being able to find you if you get lost, if a phone is off. That also can happen. They also find people through radio triangulation when their phone is off, when they're lost.
Right, sorry, we started this with a claim about chemtrails, right? Now, there's a lot of conspiratard bullshit about chemtrails, so if there's any actual information here, I'm happy to hear it. But if there isn't, let's just move on.
Can I give some?
If you've got it, yeah,
Chemtra-
I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, where this ionosphere, something that can't be a sphere, this place is way above anywhere where an airplane could fly. There's no evidence whatsoever the place exists. There is no evidence outside of NASA and space agency sounding rockets and the likes that the ionosphere exists. There's no evidence of anything above about 30 to 36 miles. Absolutely zero evidence. Actually, there's evidence against there being anything up there past that point. So,
May I add something?
Yeah.
So, in terms of the controllability of living creatures, there was a Dr. Jose Delgado who did experiments where he could radio control bulls by injecting heavy metals into them and then using an electrode stimulator to cause certain behavioral changes in the animal. And he could get mating animals to stop mating. He could get animals to almost starve themselves to death through being remote controlled, called Dr. Jose Delgado, and I'll post the link now. So what the guy was talking about in terms of potentially wanting to
that's fine.
remote control.
That's fine.
There is
Okay,
some
that's not a-
hello. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Now I've got that. Okay. Now I understand the correlation. Don't need to explain it any further. Is there a link as opposed to a correlation between those two things, other than the claim being made and the two being correlated?
I can tell you,
Not you.
I can
Not you.
directly give
Not you. Solar, go ahead.
Sorry, you were saying, is there a direct link with this technology and human beings?
There's a claim on the table that there's aluminium in the air because now we're getting this, right? So I need the because justifying. That's it. Simple.
It's all about
Because
control.
free will is inconvenient. for
Yes.
them.
Okay, that's
Also-
very, very fascinating, right? I'm
Like,
not
you're
asking
looking for
for
an
a
actual
philosophical
factual link.
musing on it. I'm asking for evidence of an actual link. Oh my God,
Well,
am I surrounded by conspiratards?
Yes. No.
Seems that way.
There's a video on BitChute.
Do
I'm
we
looking
all
for it
understand
now.
what the word...
Before-
Stop talking! Do we understand what the word evidence means? Do we understand that? Does evidence mean, I think they need to mind control? That's not evidence, right? I don't want to hear philosophical musings on why this link that hasn't been justified is there. It hasn't been justified yet. So I don't care why you think they're doing that. It hasn't been justified as the thing that's being done. So, unless someone can prove this is being done, I couldn't care less. I definitely don't want to hear philosophical musings about it, because it's not anything to worry about at this point. Unless someone can make me worry about it, I don't
Can
care.
I address that?
Go ahead. Feel
Can
free.
I address that? So in
I wanted to address
the
the
link that I
previous point
posted,
before you move on.
generally you test on animals prior to testing on human beings. It's a standard process of scientific study. The abstract for the Jose Delgado radio-controlled bulls was to study the methods for manipulating and studying the brain, the electrophysical recordings, microstimulation, optogenetics and pharmacology, proper interpretation of behavioral data. I'm getting to the point. The similarities, differences, and ethics of animal models and their relation to human physiology.
There it is. Okay. I'll change the
I'm
bull
sending
to
you
orange.
I'm sending you the video on the main chat. This is a video in BitChute.
Anyway.
They are looking at the Pfizer sticker under the microscope, and there's clearly a man-made synthetic nanotechnology in the sticker. This is probably a router
Oh.
in the. It is able to receive and send signal.
Okay, I'd like to go back to what Solar said about animals being mind controlled not to eat and not to produce. That can also happen if they're nauseous, if they're sick. Might not necessarily be signals telling them don't eat, do eat. So anyway.
Or pain. They could be just causing them pain.
The
I just
point
want
of
to state
raising
that-
those physiological things like feeding and having intercourse, those are considered base physiological needs that over repeated testing, they could show that they could get the animal to avoid its own self-preservation instincts and almost get it to the point of starvation where it would die by literally radio controlling its brain. I agree with
Yeah,
you
like
that
me,
intercourse doesn't mean
like me with the flu.
it-
So I heard what you said the first time, but like me with the flu, yeah, you could go to the point of dehydration because you're not eating or drinking as much as you should.
Do you really give up on
Hold on,
reproduction
now-
during the flu then? Fair enough.
Oh, no, hold on. No, I can do the
Yes, I
same
did.
thing. Hold on. I can do the same thing with a hammer. You know, is that mind control to come along and hit someone with a hammer while they're reproducing? Or eating?
They pay a lot of money for that in Soho.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's not mind control.
Wow.
So I think the problem with that is that I think the problem with that is that nobody's ever mind controlled in their own opinion. So how do you know if you're mind controlled?
That's correct.
Men
Nobody
have
is
been-
mind controlled.
Men have been mind controlled. Majority of men have been mind controlled for generations and centuries by good-looking women. It's going on all the time. You don't need any
Nobody's mind
scientific-
controlled. Really? People
Okay.
think that other
It's just
Don't
intervene.
think
that other
Okay.
people
Stop a second.
people think
Okay,
other people are living
hello.
antipodal to them.
Hello.
That's mind
So-
control, man.
Hello.
May
Hello.
May I?
What I've said hello 16 times? Of course. By all means, what I'm trying to get a fucking word in. No. So, we know how to manipulate people's minds. There's a handbook on it. I keep recommending people go and check out Reality in Truth YouTube channel. Publisher Nathan Bell, who goes through the handbook on how you manipulate people's mind. Yeah? That's how you do it. Well, the death cell and the sex cell is what we're talking about here. Now, which is more likely in my mind when I hear all of this stuff? That there's a story about something that could control your mind and stop you breeding and stop you living. Now, is that a death cell story or something that's actually real that I need to be fearing? I see it as a
Nathan,
death
this
cell
is
story. That's what I hear.
this is as real as it gets because there's a person called Dr. Andreas Noack. He's a well-known chemist. He's an expert on carbon atoms, and he made a video about in December. He made a video about he tried to warn people about the dangers of the sticker, and he did that. I mean, I posted the link on main chat. Please save the link and just watch the
Gotta be
video he
joking.
made.
My God.
And after 4 days, he was brutally killed. And you can, in the same link, you can see his girlfriend telling how he died. After 4 days, they killed this academician just because he talked
How do
about
you know
what's
this?
inside the sticker.
How do you know this horrible story?
What?
How do you know this?
Because I'm a good researcher.
And how did you find it out? Where was it researched?
I find out many things.
Your primary source for the information.
You should just, and I sent it to the main chat. Please save it and watch it after the show.
What is it? A video?
Yeah, there are 2 videos. There's a video where the academician speaks against
Gotta be
the
kidding me.
sticker, and there's the next video where his girlfriend
Nathan,
says
you're right.
he was
He's a
killed.
fraud.
I heard enough.
He's a fraud. You're right.
How do you?
That's correct.
How do you
No
know the
evidence
guy
for
was even
that.
a
How
doctor
hot
before that?
How hot is the molten iron core?
So, Brian's trying to get a word in. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm just saying, how do you know the guy was even existing as a doctor prior to this thing? How do you know they're not all actors? How do you know it's not all made up nonsense? You know, to feed into conspiracy. You know,
I said earlier,
we were-
I'll change the bulb
yeah.
to orange. My fear level should be at orange then, right?
Yeah.
But you guys should not dismiss this without
I'm not
at
dismissing
least
it.
considering
I've listened
some of
to
it.
it. I've not dismissed it.
No, I'm just
I may
saying to
research
Brian.
it further. There's fascinating stuff in this. Please don't suggest that I'm dismissing it. I'm not.
No, I was just responding to Brian where he said, you know, how do we even know these guys exist? They've got recorded videos of all of these remote controlled brain stimulation tests going all the way back from the early 1900s. There are tons of research studies, always with how it applies to the human physiological aspect and the study of how they can get. Obviously, it's about eugenics, the reduction in human population.
Let me ask you this
So
then.
how can they
Right.
control us not to overpopulate this finite resource? That's their whole mindset in this discovery.
Right. Let me ask you this then. So you're claiming a cause and effect relationship.
Direct, and yes, it was scientifically studied. Lots
But
of
that's not a
studies, lots
study
of papers.
situation. That's a situation where they do actual experiments and prove
Correct.
this.
On creatures with remote control, and everyone wanted to talk about, oh, but women can manipulate, and you know, bosses can manipulate staff. No one was questioning that. But does your wife have a remote control for you?
They don't need all
When
that.
she
Do you
presses
understand?
this button,
But Solar,
you no longer
Solar.
have your own faculty.
My wife's got one
Solar,
of them for me.
please. Could I? So yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Solar. Look, they don't need all that. They just need to let you think there's all that there. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is they don't need it. They've been manipulating the world successfully without it for years. The whole world thinks they're on a globe, as Chocolate said earlier.
Okay, but this
All
is the last.
all you need is a tell
But
life.
that's steering. So
Television.
manipulation is steering, whereas a remote control is directly influencing. And they've tried to steer us quite unsuccessfully. Now they've gone into this great reset because population got too large. And now they're wanting to progress now to a more controllable. But Nathan, his point originally was, can we link the aluminium to this mind control? I don't think that there's a direct causal link between the aluminium, which was the first point.
Well,
But
this
the
is
remote control.
that's my point of view because I believe there is not many reasons to fill people with different heavy metals, right? I mean, if you are filling human beings with heavy metals with their food, water. By the way, the water you're drinking is incredibly bad, even
Eli, can
bottled
you
water.
mute?
I still don't see the science behind people being controlled like a controller to an Xbox character. I still, because it sounds to me like that's what you're trying to say, Solar, that people are actually remotely controlled from devices, uh, electronically to do things. That would be something that is very easily shown if that were true and if that were real. If there's no evidence of it, then leave it where it's at in the bin.
No evidence of it.
Well,
Meanwhile, I feel like
read the
I should
study
be.
I posted.
I should definitely drink
I mean,
Coca-Cola.
should the controlled person say that he's being controlled? What kind of evidence do you need? They are
We are controlled.
uploading
Nobody's disagreeing with that.
operating systems.
Hold on. Nobody's disagreeing with that, right? We are in. What the last show was called something like we're in bondage or something like that. Yeah, we there's plenty of chains controlling us, right? But these fear-based, speculative claims that we should be concerned about. Is there not enough real stuff to fear? Like literally, that actually affects your life directly? That you should concern yourself with this speculation? I mean, it is just speculation. It's based on YouTube
This is the
videos.
biggest problem. I mean, are you gonna worry about?
I don't know how clear.
like,
I don't know how clear or straightforward I have to be. But when I say controlled, I don't mean like how we've been controlled and how most people think that the Earth is a globe still. Like that's psychological. I'm talking about literally controlled. Like, oh my God, no, I don't want to murder my pet gerbil, but I'm being electronically controlled from elsewhere to murder my pet gerbil. Oh no, that kind of thing.
no,
So
they are
you're the
gonna
Manchurian candidate.
Note to self.
they're gonna
Don't
get rid
give
of
Eli
most of
any
the population, and
Don't
they
let
just
Eli
want to
into
control the
that.
rest.
This is the movie, The Manchurian Candidate. The first was black and white with Frank Sinatra. The last one was with Denzel Washington. The
Sounds like
defense.
propaganda to me.
No, it's been around all the time. Of course, they're doing these things to figure out how to do it. Now, Nathan is asking, show us a direct link. I think they are trying to do it, but where is the direct link? And it's like it's coming, but it's not here yet. But they are doing these things.
It's here, man. They are vaccinating babies. What should they do to Are you
Guys,
what do you expect to see?
can't push this line too far. Right.
You're
Can't
not
discuss
listening.
vaccinations. Can't discuss it. It's just one of the rules on YouTube. I don't make them.
Can I make a
Can I
point?
point something out on this? Yeah, go ahead, Brian, but I want to point something out after you're done.
Just very quickly, John. In the start, I'm not going to talk about it, but in the start of 2020, within the first 2-3 months of 2020, within 4 days, the whole world just caved in. Within 4 days, the whole world just caved in and did what they're told. Why do they need all this other stuff? Now, maybe they have the use of it, but they don't need it.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
Brian's got a point.
Brian
Brian's
stated what I hinted at. Precisely, Brian. And as somebody brought up vaccinations, again, I'll stress we cannot talk about that. It's just the YouTube rules. It's
But
just the way
that
it
proves
is.
the point, Nathan.
Hold on, 10.
That proves my
Fuck's
point.
sake.
Yes.
Yes, Brian, you've now overtly stated it. Indeed. What more control do you need to see other than us in almost every country being put on house arrest? You know, that's what we've been put under, lockdowns. So that's something we can definitely discuss. It's part of the public consciousness now. So, you know, you're under the misapprehension that they need barium in the air or bloody magnesium or aluminium or something to control us with heavy metals.
What?
No, they don't.
Nathan.
Most people, oh my God, this is getting frustrating as all hell, this show today. Yeah, I am literally in the middle of that sentence. Thank you. Yeah, I am. Yeah. They literally can control people by just telling them what to do. And most normie idiots will just do it. They're lemmings. Most people are lemmings. They get called sheep. Yeah, they just get told what to do and they'll do it. Don't need anything further to that.
I
Yeah, but you
100%
see,
agree with.
it gets more
Can I
complicated.
get a word
7
in
billion people
edgewise?
is too much. They don't need that many people, and it gets out of hand. And they want a smaller population. They are the masters of control, by the way. But we have the internet, and too many people, the truth spread a lot. Like, you don't want that, right?
Hey,
I
To
just want
summarize this,
these vague philosophies that you're throwing out there are getting frustrating. Yeah, go ahead, Tenth, and I'm going to read out a few super chats. Go ahead.
yeah. The fact that we can't talk about this and other subjects means that it's already happening through other means. That does not discount that they're working on what the topic that currently is being discussed, and we don't have the final connections to that because these are evil psychopaths. So yes, I believe these things are going on. Is there a direct connection? Not yet, but look at what they can do already. There are things we can't even talk about. So the control is already happening by, if you do this, we'll demonetize, or if you do that, we'll do that. So both sides are giving good arguments. It's that thing in the middle that we haven't got yet because they haven't unleashed it yet. And so
my attempt to be subtle in that regard. Yeah, now that's been stated overtly too. Again, I was trying to subtly hint at it, but 10th Man's overtly stated it in terms of things like specifically demonetization. Right? Yeah, my hint was subtle. 10th Man's just stated it as overtly as it can be stated. Right. So I'm hinting at the control I'm having to be under. Yeah, I didn't think I'd have to break this down, but 10th Man, I'm grateful that you have, because some people, the subtlety is beyond them. Anyway, I'm going to shout out a couple of super chats. Ask Dad Anything. Propaganda and indoctrination have been more than sufficient for the purposes of controlling for centuries. I couldn't agree with you more. Ask Dad Anything. Excellent super chat. Thank you also for the support. I really do appreciate it. Also, shout out to Sacred Knowledge. Have I said that right? I always get this wrong. Sacred Knowledge, aka Universe, indeed. GovTech is decades ahead of the public, and they don't disclose the details, nor do they ask permission when they need guinea pigs. Most people are under control. Yeah, I again completely agree.
I would like to point something out about this.
I heard John first. Go ahead, John.
I would like to point something out about that entire conversation, because there's the sex sale, the death sale, and the fear sale. And as far as I can tell, it was a fear sale.
Death and fear sale, same thing.
Yeah, so how do you know it's not propaganda just to make you think they're stronger than they are? You don't know.
Indeed.
If it was propaganda, they would let you speak about it. So they would let you spread it, but they are actually suppressing talking about that.
So suppressed that you shared it with us quite happily, and we're discussing it now. Oh no, my live stream. No, we're all good. We're all good.
I know many channels who are not very comfortable in saying just the word VAC. You know, they use other words like.
Yeah, but that's because we can't. It's literally. I've said this 3 times. It is literally in the YouTube community guidelines. So when people are uncomfortable, yeah, they better damn well be, because they'll get their channel shut down.
Yeah, no more talk of that.
If they wanted us to fear, they would let us speak about it.
Unless, of course, you're speaking about it in a favorable light, then, of course, speak about it all day. Tell people to go get it all day if that's what you're doing. But if you have your own opinion and you think otherwise, nah, you get shut down. This is the world we're living in.
They even removed.
Hold on, just 1 second, 10th. Go ahead, Rams.
They even removed Joe Rogan's latest podcast with the inventor of mRNA technologies from YouTube.
I'm telling you, they killed a chemist.
Yeah, no, they didn't. I found that right away. Somebody said that the other day, and I found it immediately. So no, that's still there.
And even if it was true, again,
it's been removed for community guidelines.
Rams, because you obviously saw the YouTube letter that he got, etc., right?
Sir, this is much more serious than you want to believe.
You're not
they
listening.
kill people
Nobody's
for
listening.
Hello.
Hello. So, You have now inferred that Joe Rogan's show with a doctor talking about some nanotechnology or something has been shut down, taken down, removed. Okay. My next question. Why would that be?
He was also...
My God, I'm
He-
not
he also
talking to you. You're becoming insufferable, my friend. Yeah, I'll say it again. Rams, the guy that was just discussing this? Yeah, that means, other than Rams, I don't want to hear anyone else's voice. Let's try that again. Rams. Your inference is that because of the technology being discussed, it was removed from YouTube. You've seen the removal letter that YouTube sent to Joe Rogan then, so you know specifically what the community violation was then, yeah?
No. I just know that
you
the
don't.
guest...
Stop.
The guest,
Stop. So you don't know why it was taken down if it was taken down. You don't know.
May
Now,
I?
Can you interrupt me continually throughout the entire live stream? Yeah, you definitely can do that, mate. Yes, I'm in the
I'm
middle of
just gonna
speaking
share
again,
information.
and you are, before I've even started my point and picked up where I took off when you interrupted, you're already into interrupting me, aren't you? Of course. I just told you you're insufferable. Yet you think that that's your cue when I said, no, don't keep talking, to continually babble through me. Trying to talk to Rams. When people throw out this crap, it infuriates me. It makes me look like a complete idiot on my own show. When the guests just get to throw out, Joe Rogan's show's been taken down because the doctor he talked about nanotechnology with. Really? You know that's a fact, do you? That you've drawn that link because of the title? Or because one section of it talked about that? Oh, really? So it wasn't because of the vague throwaway comment he gave right at the end of the stream? What was that vague comment? Oh, you don't know the vague throwaway comment he gave. That's the actual thing that got the video taken down. You haven't got a clue, but you'll infer that it's because of the technology discussed. Let's move the bulb to red alert.
I think I can add to that.
No, you don't need to
My
add. You're not
God, I'm talking to Rams. It's the fourth rendition of me saying to you that I'm talking to Rams. Your cue to respond while he pauses for thought. Rams, you don't know why it was taken down.
no, I don't. I can only make assumptions.
Right.
I just posted a video about, I think, why it's taken down from Joe Rogan. I think that's it.
And what does he say? Does he give a reason?
I don't know. I didn't watch the video. I'm not sure.
Right.
I would have to go watch the video.
Well, what I believe is that the guy's interviewing is the guy that invented the mRNA vaccine technology. And a lot of what that doctor has been saying in other videos on YouTube, him himself has been removed from Twitter for what he's been saying. And so I'm assuming it's because of what he was saying in that interview with Joe Rogan that it's been removed.
Maybe. Well, let's be honest. If he's talking about vaccination, something that you're specifically regulated on YouTube about, then that's a reasonable thing to infer. But you don't know.
I know.
That's
But you're not listening.
Gosh. No, listen, guy. YouTube is the platform that this show is on. It's not Nathan's personal business. It's YouTube platform. They got rules. We are a flat earth debate show here. We don't want the channel to be taken down for some side argument that has merit that they say don't talk about. This is about flat earth. Let's get back to that, please.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of inferring that you know the thought processes of people who are in power and their intent. You don't have a clue. You don't have nobody has a clue. It's all, I think it's this, I think it's that. It's a little conspiracy based on absolutely nothing. Nobody knows what it's about. Maybe they were just trying to find out how much power they could have. Do you know what I mean? And they might have surprised themselves. Who knows? I don't know.
We should be happy, Brian, to know with our common sense and critical thinking skills that the minute they say a subject is taboo, it's all there already. But if you want to continue talking about flat earth debate using that technology, then you better stick to flat earth debate because they're going to use that to take you down.
Well, I'm only interested in the flat earth debate. I don't mind philosophy, but conspiracy, no.
The fringe stuff comes up, and often when I watch the fringe stuff, which we're not discussing on this particular channel, I see the people propagating disseminating the fear-based mind control as just useful idiots. I look at them and go, my God, do you not realise you're being manipulated into disseminating this fear-based mind control? You're a useful idiot.
I disagree. Because, I mean,
Have you
it could be
asked one
real.
house
You need to look at the
question?
evidence. I posted the evidence in main chat. By the way,
That's not
that
the
man's name
point.
is Malone.
Oh,
Robert
gosh,
Malone
this guy's
said
not
he was
getting it.
threatened before.
What he's
Listen,
not
guy,
getting to
we're
him.
not arguing the efficacy of it. We're saying that they'll shut channels down if you go against their YouTube policy. Now, don't you get it? We're
Right.
not disagreeing.
I watched a little bit of this
What?
video, right? So this is what they did, right? Because
It
it's,
just
it's
continues.
talking about
They just don't get it. Subtlety is lost on the Discord server. Completely lost.
my God.
Guys,
And I
take
just
it
watched that
somewhere
video,
else.
right? Okay, whatever.
I mean, I would not
We're not-
expect a flat earther to bow down to any authority, right?
What authority? I don't
That's
have any
not
authority.
the point.
That I can discuss. What do you mean? Hang on to any authority with your stereotyping
I
fallacy
mean-
about what a flat earther
I mean,
does.
You have already seen that authorities are lying to you, and they are deceitful, and they are shameful. So why are you worrying about their fucking rules?
Because we'll
Mind
be here
yourself.
tomorrow, you idiot.
Okay. 10th laid it out. I've been subtle. This isn't my house. In this. Hello. This isn't my house. There's rules in this house. I have to abide by them. That's it. Okay.
Root
All
over
the
anything
conspiracy
else.
talk, all the conspiracy talk is the mind control. You know, the more people they have been looking into and get lost in conspiracy, the more control they have over them. They have them believing what they want them to believe. It's very simple. Let's stick to what we
talked
can
about the
prove.
conspiracy that everybody's been involved in since they were like 3 years old. The one where we're made to think we all live on a magical spinning water ball flying around in a vacuum with people living antipodal to us, thousands of miles beneath our feet. Anybody think that's real? Do you have any evidence of that?
Talking about the one that we can actually debunk. You're talking about the positive claim that's made that we can actually
the
debunk.
one that you have to, the one that you have to actually measure a flat plane just to assume that it's the opposite of that. That one. Anybody got evidence of that?
Yeah, the one you can actually talk freely about on YouTube.
I want to respond just to round that out to a comment made in the chat by Don G. It says, RIP freedom of speech. There was never freedom of speech on YouTube. This isn't a public platform. It's not a soapbox in a public park or on a street. This is a company. It's a business. So the notion that you were entitled ever to freedom of speech on YouTube is just a misapprehension that people have about what YouTube is. You're not entitled to it here. It doesn't apply here.
Yeah, you're renting their soapbox is what you're doing.
Precisely.
And they have terms for their soapbox. So you just have to deal with that.
Yeah.
The
people who moan about it, the people who moan about it, if you don't like that soapbox that you stood on, all right, there's a few other soapboxes you can also go to the boss man of that soapbox and ask him if you can stand on it. Or, if you're very clever, you can make your own little soapbox. Probably won't get a very big audience with your own little soapbox there. Or, you just have to deal with the rules. Well, we're in a society that us as individuals may make very little difference to. So you go, okay, well, what's the point of all this? What's the bonus? If you're only focused on making societal level changes, then you'll get nowhere and it'll be very depressing. If you go at an individual level, I've made massive changes to my life as a result of this information. And they're I can only assume by your tone, the things that you assume I'm not doing, I'm probably doing. I just don't want to talk about them here because it would affect my career on YouTube. As a YouTuber, that's top priority, above the subject of flat Earth, as much as that might piss people off. That's just a fact.
What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?
Oh my gosh, please don't misuse scripture at this point of the discussion. You are thick. You got a steel plate in your head. You're not getting it. We are not saying what you're saying is false. We're saying that if we keep it up and it's against YouTube policies, this channel won't be here to talk about what we really want to talk about on this channel and its mission. We're not discounting what you're saying. Got it?
I think he's a plant. He's been sent in here.
Oh God! Oh God! My own little conspirator.
Get out of here, overcomer.
Thank you, Neil.
I think we could just
tell him, Neil.
Just
I think this
to
is the
address the
beauty of a
point.
flat Earth room.
Okay, can we let the pharmacist speak? Hello. Hello. Adam, go ahead.
Just to address the point to the scripture reader, I don't think any of us are are afraid to talk about this topic. Don't want to. We do in private, but I'd happily do it. I think we'd come and join you on your YouTube channel if you think that it should be on YouTube. But it's not going to be discussed by us on Nathan's YouTube channel because this is his livelihood and he knows the rules. Yeah. And it's not about being brave or facing an enemy. It's about not being bloody stupid and asking a provider to keep you up, even though they keep nobody up after you blatantly flout the rules in their face. And that's just intelligent, not brave.
That
Yeah, Nathan doesn't need to martyr
if you're listening to this, just one second. Just round this point out with one little point if you're a YouTuber, right? So I'm speaking to you if you've got a YouTube channel. Now, I know the YouTube guidelines very, very well, but without knowing them at all, yeah, if you're in this particular realm, this little corner of the internet that's been bundled all together in a horrible little crappy bundle called conspiracy, just know this. You can generally talk about almost anything so long as it's not a current magic trick. Yeah. If it's a current magic trick, don't talk about it. That'll get you shut down. If it's a done, dusted, completed magic trick, then you can talk about it. That's a general rule of thumb.
Well said.
Yeah,
Middle finger to the enemies of the freedom of speech. Like, I would sacrifice everything I have, including my life, just to be able to say one
Yes,
sentence.
okay, guy, dude, that's guy. Hello. While it's fascinating that you would sacrifice everything that you have, yeah, I'd prefer you don't sacrifice everything I have. Do you understand that? Good.
I just find I understand it.
And harmless as doves. Thank you.
Yeah, could I just point out that this is the third time, this is the second time I said it, and it's already been said twice by Chocolate Sane. I think John and a couple of others joined in. There is a much huger, more important matter on the table, and we are allowed to talk about it. Right? This other matter is a fleeting matter that we don't really know much about, and it is nowhere near the size of the matter we do talk about, and we are allowed to talk about it. The important thing. So if someone like you, Overcomer, wants to get lost in present problems, then off you go, but keep us out of it, because we're talking about actually serious stuff that does actually matter. Not the nonsense of present nonsense. You can't prove anything about it. You won't even know the reason for it for 20 years.
Beautifully vague, Brian.
How is the shape of the earth is more important than people dying because of the sticker?
This guy still doesn't get it. Go to a channel that does that, and you go start that channel. Okay, this is not that channel.
He's a plant.
Why
He's a plant.
why are they teaching people the their supposed shape of the earth when they're kids?
Let me just get it, just chocolate. What this guy wants to fight us for in this regard, right, is right to talk about him being terrified of a sticker. I mean, that's what he's told me. There's a sticker with some sort of tracking technology in it. That's what he's told us, right? Now, no offence, mate. You go away and be scared of a sticker. Now, fight for your right to tell the world how terrified they need to be of this sticker. Okay? You do that.
I am doing it, and I posted the proof to the main chat.
Yeah, just not here. Just not here.
Meanwhile, everyone with a smartphone is being tracked.
That's something we know. That's something that they did. So, for instance, right, I had a discussion with Mark Knight, who's wakey wakey. No longer on YouTube, right? I wonder why. Anyway, on a different note, we discussed how back in the day, when he was a programmer, he used to work for a division of Microsoft that was implementing various different things into Windows. Anyway, he's explaining that back when they introduced Windows 7, all of the back doors that we got told about in Windows 10, with them having access to your camera and microphone and listening to you and prompting ads based on what you're talking about, yeah, that was all well and truly established long before the public outrage of Windows 10, when they just told you it was there. It was already there. It was already well and truly in there. Now, you rewind the clock to what, 2006, something like that, when Windows were doing that. And it was right at the start of the YouTube emergence, started talking about that on YouTube, there's a good chance you'd have your channel shut down back then, right? Because the same principle applies. Don't mess around with the magic trick while they're conjuring it. They put a lot of effort into that magic trick. There's a lot of normies that need manipulating. What are you doing messing around with it? And that'll get you shut down, right? You talk about Windows 10 when they've literally told the entire world that they're basically spying on you. And everyone goes, oh, I don't want to be spied on. Well, let's all make videos about how you can turn off the spying. yeah. Because they put the switch in, they put a little off button in, didn't they? Yeah, you can just turn it all off. Honest. Yeah? Well, you can talk about that all you like. Why? Well, because those roots have very much they've taken hold. So it doesn't matter anymore. Talk about who you like. Who cares? So much so that they'll put it in the disclaimer when you load the software into your computer. Let alone hiding it. They put it right there on the front page.
So it's the same enemy who does those many things to us. Lies about the shape of the earth, lies about science, lies about religion, lies about God, lies about everything.
Yep.
And then uses technology against us, sells us technology, and creates money out of thin air, right? Controls economies, controls political systems all over the world, creates discord, wars, kills people, maims people. The enemy is the same, but the enemy does many things. So we need to discover the whole spectrum.
When does that enemy start attacking us?
I believe it happened in the middle 19th century.
No. I mean, like, individually, like, when does that attack on us start from the enemy? When do you think?
It happens when they give you a ID, the identification card from the government. You are being enslaved into their system.
I know what Oakley is asking.
I'm thinking further back than that, my friend.
Right.
Way before you're old enough to get an ID.
So it's the world that's been pulled over your eyes that deceives you. You can feel it when you pay your taxes, when you go and do your grocery shopping. That's the control, that's the bondage. When Morpheus is explaining to Neo that it's the world that's been pulled over your eyes, and that every little thing that you do in that matrix society, the psychopathic control grid, as Thomas Sheridan describes it, those are the control mechanisms. Those are the chains. We're already being controlled. The fear of some bloody piece of plastic with my number on it. I've got dozens of numbers already. Dozens and dozens of government numbers. I've already got them. Just think it matters if it's printed on a fucking card? No. But if I'm fearful of it for even a moment, then I've lost.
I just want to state that
if I was fearful, I would not talk about it. I do not say that we should be fearful.
I was speaking before you were. Excuse me. I just want to state that chocolate is a far, far greater enemy to those who are in control than you are, Overcomer.
What? Chocolate? Chocolate's lovely.
Yeah, I also want to just add to what you were just talking about. Edward Snowden. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Edward Snowden is the person who helped make this spy technology. And when he figured out that they were using it illegal on everybody without putting that disclaimer in there. He was the whistleblower, and he ended up having to flee his country and now resides in Russia.
Wow.
That's what they tell you anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds very James Bond.
Yeah, that's what they tell you, but you know that he was this. If this information is nothing new, it's already been put out there by the people who've even made the technology.
By the media, but you say by the people who made the technology. Sorry, that probably wasn't the conduit, right? You didn't get a flyer from the technology maker. You heard it from the media. This James Bond-esque story about this guy who I definitely heard the name of before Snowden. That's definitely a mainstream name, right? That's front page, full on media propaganda name. That is, isn't it? Am I wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. And they probably use that, his name, that person, as a tool to let you know as well.
Definitely. That's akin to my point. Just going to read out the super chat just so we don't run out of time. Thank you very much indeed, first and foremost, to Fiber Oats, who says, sometimes the less you speak, the more meaningful your words are. Please consider starting your own channel, sir. Indeed.
Nathan?
Yes.
Just a quick question. I wonder, these guys seem quickly clued in, and what I think would probably settle the debate would be, what does Q have to say on this?
Hold on a minute, damn it. But what I was going to say is, if you think about the infrastructure that has been put into the communication method we're using right now, not to mention television, telephones, all the ways in which they can share information with you. They did all of that without the promise of a return. They did it for a reason.
Might title this live stream, "We're all gonna die," end quote. Because it's one of those lines from that Don't Look Up movie. So she goes on, she's told afterwards that she's not media savvy. You need some media training. Because she's in the middle of explaining to a live audience that there's a meteor coming from the sky vacuum. And she's supposed to be keeping her cool and just, you know, light-hearted and keep it chatty and all this. And then she just breaks down and, "We're all going to die! Don't you fucking get it? We're all going to die!" Yeah? Obviously, she was the expert in that instance, heliocentric mathematician that had figured out that orbital trajectory that was going to kill them all. Because we all need to be terrified of that, don't we? Obviously, with the heliocentric model and all being true. That was perfectly justified fear-based propaganda that she was spewing as a useful idiot right there. If the story of Don't Look Up is true. You know, considered as true, I mean. Obviously, it's just a movie.
They're going to need all for that.
Exactly. That fear that she's disseminating in the movie plot to the public is based on a model in the same way the paradoxes are no longer paradoxes. The fear-based mind control that is disseminated by way of heliocentric rhetoric is no longer anything to concern yourself with. Now, many of the things that, I hate to say it, but people who are supposed to be on my side, considered in my community, excuse me, those people will disseminate all sorts of fear-based, nonsensical, obviously propaganda mind control and think they're being righteous for doing so. And it just makes me feel sick. It's just like, my God, just all these useful idiots that surround me disseminating this complete horse crap that they've 9 times out of 10 got zero evidence for. Surface level at best if they have.
I think they're going to need chocolate for that.
You got a lot of commendation for something I didn't maybe pick up on, Chocolate. Did you want to make an ending point before I ask everyone to stay tuned for the after show? Chocolate, that is.
No, man. My point earlier to the dude was, like, it's not to discount anything that he was saying, right? It's not to discount that. It's that here we focus on a different attack. And when I asked about when does that attack start, well, that attack starts before we can even form words, before we can even speak, right? That attack that's placed into our minds, the world pulled over our brains to hypnotize us into this nonsense. That's the one that we attack here on this show, right? Again, not discounting what you're saying, brother, but that's where we go with here. So, thanks.
With that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!